1957 Chevy Bel Air with an LS2 Corvette engine swapped into it with an automatic transmission. God dang. From the outside, this car really doesn't look all that touched, and compared to other resto mod cars, it really isn't touched that much. There's a lot of original parts. Here we're at the rear suspension. It has Caltrax traction bars, it has 4-round disc brakes, and it also has coilovers. This car originally had airbags in the front, but now it has coilovers with upgraded control arms, and in the rear it is just leaf springs with the traction bars, and there might be some supporting mods like a sway bar or something like that. On a drive yesterday, I'll show you in the video. And during the drive, it did not get hot once. Temperatures stayed below 180. If I romped on it, maybe it would tickle 180, but that was about it. LS2 Corvette engine. Pretty sure it's the regular automatic. I think they came with a 4060E, and that's what's still in it. Little single pass radiator. To my knowledge, this engine is bone stock, besides maybe a refresh at some point, and I'm gonna let y'all hear it. This car also has a vintage air system, and it still has radio in it. It's a very streetable and reliable car, and I'll show you the clips of it driving next. Forgot the Willwood full 4 disc brakes all around. Disc brakes in front and in the rear. Also got these ladder bars. And that is about it for traction though. This thing's on like 8 wide tires, and it slides. Yeah, everything's pretty good. It's got hood struts to hold it up. I'll show you the inside in a second. Now for the inside, not completely original, but very original. So it has the dash and wheel and everything. 1 second. But these seats, these are some like Chrysler 300 seats, I think. But they are pretty nice for how fast this thing is and being able to drive. It's not a bench seat, but could easily still put a bench seat back in. Rear seat is original, along with headliner. I don't know if you'll be able to see, it's a little dark. 1 second. Headliner, also original. Shifter. And then down here, looks like a little bit of a mess. We will have a shroud go over this. It'll be much more clean. This is just to get all these fuses figured out before it is sold. Now I'm going to give you all a better look up at the dash. It has these gauges that are not original. They have like a carbon fiber look and look a lot like the Holley gauges to me, but I don't know for sure. So when I get a real price up for this car, I will have all the real details of in-depth stuff on it. And here's a video inside the car driving. Steering wheel moves like a dream. I can do that one hand up to probably about 100 miles an hour. Now I quickly mentioned it before, but yes, this car will be eventually up for sale. Right now I'm just kind of showcasing it in this video. It's not even clean or anything. I'm going to be doing a full detail before this car is sold. We even have that lift so I can get undercarriage detail, everything. And I will have more information about the car, like details you'd want to know if you're buying it, but just know it will be a very expensive car, but still reasonable to what this car is. It gets driven a lot, even on these dirt roads, on the street. When I drove it, I was being a little heavy-footed because I wanted to see if it got hot, if it could handle it, and it does. I think to most people out there looking to buy one of these, it would be a great cruiser. It's not some showpiece that you'd have to leave in your garage forever because we drive it. Now, if you're someone who's used to driving a brand new sports car, this is not a car that drives like that. If you've driven an F-150, I could say it drives just like my F-150. It has leaf springs in the rear, coilovers in the front. It's the same sort of setup, and it really drives the same. It has body roll in this car, but it can still take corners. And you can even fine-tune these coilovers to make it drive like a sports car, really. At the moment, the coilovers are set up pretty soft because it is driven by a 70-year-old man, but it can be stiffened up, and to me, it still does feel pretty sporty. Since this was a car made in the 1950s and it originally came with about 150 to 200 horsepower probably, you can expect a couple of rattles when you're going super fast. I don't know how to explain it. It's more like when people describe cheap plastic in cars and it rattles, that's what you could probably hear when you're going 100 miles an hour, because these cars really didn't see that. But on a strength standpoint, like the chassis, it feels amazing. It feels super strong. I never got uncomfortable. Even though these tires spin like crazy, if you've driven an older car or not a nice driving car, it's an easy car to handle. This street driving portion of the video, this car, to me, I think I was being pretty heavy-footed on it. I was giving it the beans. I was trying to see what it could take, and it took it all. It didn't get hot. It didn't show me any problems. The trans never slipped. It didn't do any weird downshifts, and I love driving this car. I love the way the tune is set up in this car for cruising specifically, because at a certain throttle point, it really is very tamed. It's calm, but then once you get past that, let's say 50% mark, it just gives it everything. You can slide this car out if you really don't know what you're doing, but it handles it great. Now, for 99% of the viewers of this video, you're not going to be interested in buying this car. You just like the way it looks. You think it's a cool car. I will have more content coming out before it is sold. I'm going to do a full detail on it, obviously, to try to get more money out of it. I'm going to be doing some, not modifications, but just tightening things up before we sell it. And also, I'll probably do another drive. Might see what draggy times it can get, might even take it to a car show. I don't know, just if y'all would like to see more of this car, let me know.